Old laptops, they have a lot of uses potentially. There are a few things that I have done to these to make them a little safer. Obviously, with the laptop is going to have a battery inside. In my opinion, it's good to take out the battery, but there are some quirks related to that. So for example, I picked this laptop up maybe a few years ago now on eBay's certified refurbished thing. It was a bad idea. The laptop was in terrible condition, but I fixed it up. I didn't return it because I actually made a quick little video about fixing it up. But anyways, it functions at the very least. I put some more RAM in it. I put a SSD in it, so it's decently quick considering. This specific one is a Dell Latitude E5250. It has a Intel i5 5300U, I believe. It just has integrated graphics, so there are some limitations. The battery that came with it was not great. I still have it, but I did take the battery out. The laptop works just fine plugged into AC power without a battery inside. You can't update firmware without the battery inside. There are some ways to get around it, but if you do take your battery out, you should keep it. I put batteries into containers that are fireproof, quote unquote, a little dusty. But for example, this is a fireproof bag. Obviously, if they're not charged, you're not going to have any problem, but safer than sorry type of thing. Here's the battery that came with the Dell laptop. They had misconfigured the laptop, so this battery was left uncharged and in a bad state for a long time. It still works technically, but I just don't need it. I don't use it. I don't take these laptops out really doing anything with them where I need to be mobile, so I don't care much about the battery. It's just easier not to have it in the computer, charging, uncharging as I use the computer, so I just prefer to take it out when at all possible. Very easy to take off the panel, swap the battery out. If you want to get a new one, you can easily do that with this generation of laptop, but in my case, it just works fine not having a battery in here. The one thing I've been trying to use this with now is setting up a second streaming location. I have a different computer there to do Step Mania. It's like a step pad game where it's really great for exercise. In that case, I want to do some streaming down there. Different setup. I'm going to hook up some webcams to this and basically have it ready to go when I need it. And this is just fine for streaming. This specific laptop does not have dedicated graphics, does not have much in the way of dedicated encoding, but it does have Intel's quick sync functionality with the processor, so that's a little better. It does work with OBS. In this case, this is an old Acer laptop. It's a little bigger, but it has a much nicer screen. It's actually a little bit older. Does have a dedicated NVIDIA GPU in here, 750M, which is pretty much unsupported by NVIDIA now. The latest drivers for the graphics are from 2019. I did use this as my first streaming device when I was streaming Super Nintendo games on Twitch, and that worked out. So I'll have to look around and try to figure out if this is still capable of doing hardware encoding. Again, with the battery removed, it's much safer and just simple. It works. Still works with Windows 10. No issues. Windows 11 is a problem. So if you do want to use Windows 11, you need a computer with a TPM device and potentially other things to consider. So as long as you have a functioning AC adapter, you can even buy third-party AC adapters. There are definitely quite a few available for old laptops. A few ideas you could potentially consider with an old laptop. Again, setting up for streaming. In my case, that's going to be very nice and simple. Besides that, you could use it for retro games. You could put it in a arcade setup, like an arcade cabinet that you make. Put a laptop in there. It's going to be fine for old retro stuff. Potentially set up sensors and do like home automation things. Again, an old laptop would be just fine with the battery removed. You could potentially take this and make a new frame for it. In this specific case, this laptop has a touchscreen, so I could maybe turn it into a tablet. Again, get a new battery for it or something like that. Just a few ideas on using old laptops for whatever projects and other things you might want to do. Pretty efficient, pretty compact, potentially low cost option. Tech, I suppose. Thanks.